Here we are at the home of Barry Hearn, the legend, chairman of PDC Darts, chairman of World Snooker and Leyton Orient Football Club, a man with real power and passion.
I wouldn't choose anything else to do. I mean, the frightening thing is I'm a chartered accountant by profession and I nearly stayed in the practice. Can you imagine how boring that would have been? But, you know, I was a very successful young chartered accountant and by luck stumbled into the sports business through my friendship with Steve Davis and my chairmanship of Lucania Snooker Halls, where I started doing small events and got the buzz for doing sporting events. And my love affair with snooker goes back to 1974. My first event was in 1974. Terry Griffiths and Sid Hood for the Southern Area Snooker Championships. Wasn't exactly big time. Once you've experienced sport and the personalities behind it, it would be impossible to turn the clock back. I can't imagine not having the life I have now with 11 different sports and events running for 762 event days this year and 40,000 hours of television. You know, it's a lot of fun and it's been fun from day one. So suicide would be the only option.
You can be a professional for a year, do well, and be banging the top 32.
Yeah.
So everyone can get there, you know. We've got a good ranking system now, and I think Barry Hearn's done really well.
Yeah. But do you embrace, I mean, what's happened over the last year or two with snooker and what Barry Hearn's done for the sport with the world's shootouts and you know, all these new formats of the game? Do you think there's a place for that in snooker?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I was a big supporter of him getting in, you know, because I mean, we had 6 tournaments the year before.
Yeah.
It's not.
It's just not enough.
It's not a game, is it?
No,
you know, it was awful. You know, every game was like so built up. You know, like, I've got a tournament today. If I lose, I'll be gutted. But I've got another one next week.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think there will probably be a time where some of the top players, some of the top 16 players, decide not to play in all of the PTCs and then just focus on getting themselves 100% spot on for the main ranking events.
The way the ranking system is now, you only need a couple of bad months, and you're under the cosh. And then the mortgage comes in, and you can't pay it, and you're twitching, and you're off the tour. Before you know it, you're off the tour and your career's finished. It's like
that's it, and that's the pressure.
They talk a good game, and for 12 months ago they were moaning there's nothing to do. Now there's a lot to do, and when push comes to shove, we find out about people. You know, and the fact is, if they maintain that type of mentality, they won't be top players in the modern era in a few years' time. Kids coming up will say, "I want that cake."
Yeah.
And they showed a weakness there, which is their loss.
Barry Hearn's try and bring in new sort of ideas to sort of obviously to make it become more interesting, more exciting to the younger audience, basically, to get more to get the young people interested and to get them playing snooker.
Yeah.
They got the right guy, you know, running the game, Barry.
Yeah.
You know, Barry's got 10 million ideas every day.
Yeah.
You know, and the snooker is already gone up massively with Barry, and it's only the start.
Yeah.
And particularly nowadays, since Barry's been involved the last year or so, you know, going back a few years, even when I was in 16, there was maybe 8 or 9 tournaments. So even if you're in top 16, you know, there's still long periods of the year where you weren't busy. Whereas now, I've qualified for Shanghai, I have a tournament the next 3 weeks, and then the following week I go to Shanghai, which is unheard of, gone back a couple of years.
I think in any sport, you know, you have to make sure that, firstly, in the event business, every event has to have its own personality. You can't just produce, as snooker has done over the years, just churn out events that all look the same. Because basically you're indoors, you know, you could be anywhere in the world, and it could be any tournament in the world. So different formats are essential. Certainly as far as the appreciation of the traditional events like the World Snooker Championships, make a big case for leaving that as it is. And I think quite rightly, maybe a few little touches here and there to bring it into the new era. But as far as the game's concerned, people have no choice but to embrace change, because otherwise there is no future. And you know, major sport is about money. It's about making money, it's about creating prize funds, it's making sure that it's aspirational for youngsters to say, I want that Rolls Royce, I want that Ferrari, and this is how I'm going to do it. So you have to give them a reason for dedicating their life, because what you're asking for is total dedication. That has to be rewarded.
It does.